Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, we're going to be talking about having an Aquarius Mars in a natal chart, or Mars in Aquarius, depending on what you want to call it. Same thing. Some of you may remember when I first started my YouTube astrology channel, I did natal placements on the Mars signs, and they were a little bit concise, and some people may have referred to them as snappy. But now what I decided to do is make another series on them in which the videos would be a little bit longer and more descriptive. So now, first off, with having your Mars in Aquarius, your natal chart, Mars is connected with our energy and vitality. So a lot of that energy and vitality may be injected into attaining one's goals, aspirations, going toward the future. It's very Aquarius is very progressive sign, and it's also a lot of that that energy may go into matters associated with computers, information technology, electronics, ingenuity, and humanitarian endeavors. This person may have a lot of activity. With friends, I had a friend of mine many years ago that has this placement, and he was always surrounded, not always, but very often surrounded by a lot of friends, and friends may play a pivotal role for these people. And the thing about this too is, and also the person may be very enamored with group-related activities and bring a lot of their that energy and vitality into those matters as well. Now, Mars is also connected with our driving motivation. So having this placement, Mars in Aquarius, well, the person may be strongly driven and motivated to just simply could be benefit humanity and society. Um, there may be a lot of motivation for humanitarian work and doing things, a lot of altruism and selflessness. And the thing is, this is a person that might, have a lot of incentive, just drive and motivation to help their friends and doing things that will benefit them. And it's also, again, about attaining the goals and the aspirations, driving toward one's future. This person may be somebody that will fight for human rights often, more so than many other astrological placements would, and also to innovate as well. And this person may be driven, motivated to do things with again, out of selflessness. And it could be, as an example, could be providing tech labs to inner city schools with not expecting any reciprocation or anything in return. Now, Mars is also connected with combat, confrontation, battles, and fighting. And having your Mars in Aquarius in your chart, well, this person may be, close to a genius fighter, having the express ingenuity in their fighting. I knew, two of my friends had this. I remember having this placement, and they were very good, proficient in fighting, to say the absolute least. But they may often get involved with quarrels, with friends and acquaintances. They may be a strong human rights advocate, somebody that's willing to often fight for human rights and fight for their friends as well. And it could be, again, having that advanced level fighting ability. This could be, a person that might get into a number of quarrels with others on social media and the internet. There may be arguments over, computer devices as well. And I remember one time I had, back in the prehensile days. This was in the 80s. I had I think it was an Atari, video game console, and I think there was I remember having some dispute over somebody, whether I was at fault or not for breaking it or not. And that person that had dispute was a Mars and Aquarius person. And anyway, Also, too, Mars is connected with our enthusiasm. So this person may have, a lot of enthusiasm and exuberance for, it could be global and environmental matters, doing things connected, with their friends, altruistic acts, humanitarian endeavors, and maybe doing, some work, connected with computers, electronics, astrology, astronomy, aerospace, even doing something as a hobby, like with, model rockets. As another example, there might be, some avid interest, in unusual sports. I don't think there's something like underwater hockey. You have to, want to confer that on the internet, but I think there is a sport called that, some kind of bizarre, bizarre sports. This person may be, have enthusiasm for just going outside the box, so to speak, and also enthusiasm to have, in freedom-related matters, and, doing things independently, and also to innovate as well. This is where, in group related activities, these are things that this person may have a lot of enthusiasm and exuberance for. Now, Mars is also associated with sex, so this person may have, as far as their attitude towards sex, it might be, unorthodox to some degree. This person may be very, you could say, experimental in the sexual department. There may be more of a requirement for freedom and certain detachment in their connections, with other sexual connections, than most people. But this person may be some, ingenious to some degree in terms of what they are going, what they do sexually, with others. And the thing is, too, it could be somebody that is enamored with online, virtual sex. Sex may be done in a very, spontaneous manner. It may be unpredictable, at times, but could also be, somewhat, sporadic and erratic, as far as, just their sexual life goes. And also, it could be where this person, might have that outlook where they're friends with someone first before they have, they get involved intimately with them. Um, just that could be something what this person may strongly emphasize. Another, thing with Mars is that it is connected with the sexual, partners. So, somebody that has this placement, one or more sexual partners, may actually be an Aquarius sun, moon, or ascendant, or, embody the characteristics of the sign. It could be, people that are very altruistic, selfless, humanitarians. It could be people that are unorthodox, innovative, but may be, very non-conforming and rebellious as well. It could be those in the Aquarius profession, such as working in aerospace, astronomy, computers, electronics, innovation, meteorology, aviation, as some examples. Now, Mars is also associated with our injuries and even surgery. So, having, Mars and Aquarius in your chart, there may be a greater propensity for injuries and surgery, connected, associated with the ankles, the shins, lower legs, calves, the nerves, and even circulation. Injuries may come, in a very, spontaneous and unexpected manner. One of those people I was talking about before with the Aquarius Mars placement, one time he told me that he had an unusual situation going. He saw something on fire, I think, and he tried to grab a hose, and he was trying to put the fire out, and then in all that chaos, he got run over, and inadvertently his foot got run over or something by some vehicle, because he was so, focused on trying to, I guess, diffuse the flames. He wasn't paying attention to the other surroundings, and, he got his foot, run over. He said he was limping, but anyway, another thing is that, again, it could be, injuries may be more, greater susceptibility to accidents, which could result in the injuries. They may be very spontaneous. Even surgery may come, in a very spontaneous, unexpected, kind of manner, or not, there might not be a lot of, plotting or planning involved in it. Now, another thing with Mars, it's connected with our anger. So, people that have this placement, the anger may sometimes come very unpredictably, spontaneously. The outbursts may be very unexpected. They could be over things that you wouldn't think would bother the person. This person may become more acerbic over having their freedom and independence inhibited than most people. And also, the anger may often be directed at friends and acquaintances. It could be over matters with computers or electronic devices not working. Um, it could be in group situations. Now, another thing too, I mean, Mars is also connected, with our, as far as, the actions, so they could be unpredictable and spontaneous as well. So anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, Edwin Learnard saying stay well.